OSI layers, operating system interface layers, is a set of rules that define how devices are going to talk together. And the industry has to follow those in order to put their devices on the bus. So it is a decadal tale of hardware and software interacting with each other at different layers. And what it's come out to is the OSI layer is doing all the groundwork out there. It's the basis. It's all the hardware sitting that gets addressed and talked to by software. So this isn't the software. This is the software calls something that knows how to talk to that device and set up the right communications flow. So there's parts of OSI are things like bus architecture, words. Now all of these have pretty well been settled over the decades. So we know a 64-bit computer and a 32-bit computer. But those haven't always been the common denominators of computers. So it's been a long and interesting leap to get to where we are here today. So that OSI layer includes things like addressing memory, because now memory is more of a device out on a fast bus than it is just an address out on a fast bus. So in those layers, the hardware manufacturer can do whatever he wants as long as he plays the rules of talking on that bus. So your graphics can get faster, much faster. Your vector processing, which is graphics. But those types of things, which were really the land of RISC workstations for a long time, are still out there. So there's one component of a layer inside your computers. All these computer devices called an OSI layer, whether Linux is sitting on top of that, or Unix, or Windows, or what other, Apple, whatever, they are sitting on top of those OSI layers and communicate with it. So you're further disconnected from one of the super highways out there along every step of the way, and in that it can get easier to monitor. You can go out on those highways and look for addresses. So these things are well crafted, well thought out machines over decades of time, and it's what makes the cell phone you might be holding to watch the video, or the computer screen. Those are OSI standards. They're derivatives out of old DARPA projects. From a computer standpoint, computers were invented, or computers escaped colleges and universities when they created the internet, because more people wanted access to it. It was a little bit harder to keep a secret, and it was more information than you could handle on a telephone, and there weren't many people connected. So we haven't changed. We've added to that. We have thrown away some of it. We have changed it, but so that's what is inside those OSI layers. There's common buses that devices communicate across. The devices, depending on their type, can be hard addressed or they can be queried, and the device will go do something. This is where multiprocessors, very smart, intelligent end devices like your refrigerator or the microwave that's recording your every movement. So, buried in those layers are some kind of truths. If there's a microwave in your house connected to the internet, it's a device on the internet. And whatever it can do is what it can do on the internet. I don't think your microwave's taking pictures of you, though. But the OSI layers would allow that to happen. So the camera might not be addressable. You might not be able to see the address there. This is IPv6 kind of stuff. This is the domain of high-speed communications and very high-speed communications. So, and high-speed computers. So OSI layers define how we talk to devices out there. I'm going to link an article that talks about supercomputers versus quantum computers. Now, to even fathom what a quantum is not in the near future in this video. But they're discovering that the general idea works. But the problem is they don't know how to measure it. The standard measures they have for it, which are referenced in the article, we could talk about. But a device is being created that can do something. We're not quite sure what yet. We don't know how to talk to it. And it's not going to be intelligence. Yes. So OSI layers really... I was asked if Linux won the wars in the Unix world. And the answer is yes, he did. He won the war against Bill Gates and against Apple, and the battle still goes on. But that is an operating system. It helps, it sits on top of those OSI layers and has to understand the rules. So if you change the OSI layer rules, like IPv6, Internet Protocol version 6 is the latest and greatest coming out. You could put this in context to whatever, the 11G or whatever's coming out next. It is another video. So there's some idea of where standards sitting underneath of us. This video is based on the same standards as whatever you're going to view it on. You might have a different codec that decrypts the video to put it on your screen. But so the world gets complicated if you want to know. Now, to quantum memory, quantum computing, how do you address something you don't know? So science has discovered something with properties that apparently do something, but they can't measure with what we consider a computer. So what is this something going to be? And could it have more applications? music's good, isn't it?